Hey everybody, how's it going? It is Monday, June 2nd, and I just want to talk about something that I watched today. I'm also looking, I'm looking extra nice just because I was out at a dinner with my research group. Because I'll make another video about this in the future, but I'm going to be going to Okinawa, Japan pretty soon, in like 2 weeks for a month. And I'm going to be doing some research, but that can be for another video. For right now, I wanted to talk about something that I watched today in that cosmic wise YouTuber that I told you about in my last video. If you didn't see that last video, it's basically it's a YouTuber who posts about things that are going on in the universe, like celestial body wise, and a bit of an astrology sort of take about just how different energies that are moving around in the universe are affecting just affecting people like me or anybody else just on Earth. And just, I guess, one small side point about astrology. I don't know, factually speaking, whatever that means, if it's true or not, but what I do believe is that having faith in something, I've never really been religious before, but I think this is the closest thing that I've gotten to it. I'm not saying this is the closest thing I've gotten to it, and it's interesting when you put your faith into something, into like something that isn't really a thing that you can necessarily tangibly grasp, how it just changes the way you see the world a little bit and your beliefs. But on that note, today in this video, which is what I wanted to talk about today, the video talked a lot about figuring out and sitting with what truly needs to go with me or go with you, and what needs to stay will grow stronger, and what doesn't need to stay, to let that go. And I kind of said this backwards, actually. What I meant to say was, what truly needs to go will go. And then what truly needs to stay will continue to grow stronger. And I think that's kind of where it loops back into the whole faith thing, which I think a lot of... it's something that I used to miss, because I used to have a lot more negative thought habits, just thought habits that would, if I read this even just a month ago, this sentence, what truly needs to go will go, at least even that part alone, I'd be like, that's not true. It hasn't gone yet. And that's because of those thoughts that I was having, just those repetitive negativity towards myself. And when you just have faith that something can change, that even those thoughts, those things, those cage of words that are just surrounding your, whatever you imagine your interpersonal life is, just surrounding yourself in a cage of words. No matter where you look, you don't have much space, and you're just always surrounded by all of these thoughts, that if you can find a way to believe that there's a way out of that, if you can have faith in that, which is something I'm learning through meditation and just having faith in the process, it really, really helps a lot, more than what words can truly describe. It's just something you can only feel. And even though it sounds really simple, it is quite revolutionary for me. Like, it is really quite simple, but when you just align yourself with new values of, like, even though things feel like this, even though I'm feeling bad, feeling negative, feeling X, Y, and Z, I still have a core belief in my foundation of this. I still believe in myself. I still think of myself as worthy. Even if I have moments where everything is pointing in the opposite direction, I still can create my own light. And I think there's an Uncle Iroh quote. I don't know if it goes exactly like this, but the truth about, or this is not exactly what he says, but he basically just says that the way that you give hope is you give hope to yourself, and that is the meaning of true inner strength. And that kind of just sums it up all right there, is that if you give yourself hope, if you're able to believe, even in the face of everything is working against you, or the way or you perceive it working against you, you can still give yourself hope. And another thing the video mentioned was surrendering. And surrendering is hard because it's one of those things where you're not supposed to do anything. Like, you're just supposed to be like, let go completely, basically, which sounds really scary. But in a way, when you let go of control, that is when true control begins, or like just when you don't feel like you're responsible to be or creating or being in the driver's seat, you gain more control than what you had before. Because instead of forcing something, you're just allowing yourself to be, and by doing that, you're basically just traveling on this current, on this energy that already exists in you. So by surrendering, you're basically just trusting yourself, and your intuition, because that really is something I'm getting more comfortable with, is that is my guide. And I can't always explain logically with my, logical big brain over here why it does what it does, but what I can say is that when I follow it and I surrender to it, it's just really relieving, and I can just make a decision a lot quicker. Yeah. Another thing too is about pain or discomfort, and how for anybody that remembers having braces or just growing up, or getting new teeth, like, you remember all of those moments, they were not comfortable. I feel like sometimes we forget about that like every single moment of growth that has occurred in our lives most likely came with a moderate to severe amount of discomfort. Like, I remember when I was getting my teeth, or my braces tightened, and there was this point where they had to make this big space right here in my teeth in order to make some space for some adjustment. And I could not eat anything that was harder than like a pretty ripe apple. And like, my teeth hurt so much, but that was growth, that was change. And maybe anchoring a memory that you remember where you were in a lot of pain, but it was the pain of progress, basically the pain of rebirth, so to speak, is something that I want to remember now and remember more. And then another part of this is darkness, or your dark side, or shadow, or whatever you want to call it. Darkness. The darkness isn't good or bad. That's just some moral high ground that we've grown up with. There is really no such thing as good and bad in the sense of objectivity. I'm putting air quotes. And when you label your darkness, or that just things that you don't want to acknowledge, as bad or shameful or taboo, you're giving it power. And when you accept the darkness or those things that you felt like were impossible to accept, you realize that it's actually a huge aspect of you that was just trying to get your attention in a way. Like all of the scary things that it was saying, or all the scary images it put into your head, it was just trying to get your attention. I realized I was just misreading the situation. Crazy, right? If anything, it's here to reshape you. It's here to help you fully realize yourself more, because that's a part of you, a part of all of us. I'm not religious. I don't even know if this is from the Bible. I apologize if anybody knows where exactly this is from. This was just a quote that I got from the video that I really liked. And it goes like this. It says, "Before God formed me in the womb, I knew you. Before I was born, I set you apart." And I don't know if what that quote might mean to you. If you have an idea of it, write in the comments if you feel comfortable. But to me, what it says is that all the things that I thought made me separate from everybody else, that made me isolated, or I felt alone, are not harms or are not bad things, but it's something that just is natural to me. And even if my natural state, the things I think about, the things I share, is not normal, and people don't entirely resonate with that does not mean that I don't care for myself or other people don't care for me. And that's a beautiful thing. Another thing that I'm going to start doing, I can't show you because I'm using my phone, but I put a reminder in my phone 3 times a day, and it's just a reminder that I called Protect My Energy, because I don't know what I would call myself. I don't know if empath's the right word, a highly sensitive person. I don't know. I think the labels are here nor there. But what I can say is that I am deeply affected by what goes on internally and externally to me and the people around me. And that is why the video suggested, which I really like, is I put a reminder in my phone for 3 times a day. And it's just a little mantra that says, I accept only what belongs to me, and the rest is released. And if you think about, if you're somebody that's watching right now that is unhappy, depressed, or just feels like they're in this negative cycle, I want you to think about for a second that that cycle is supported by consistency, right? Like, I've been going to the gym 2 to 3 times a week for at least like 6 or 8 months maybe. And I've noticed significant changes, significantly positive changes. And the same thing goes for negative changes, because negative changes and negative habits are built up by consistency and by repetition, which I guess are the same thing, but yeah, consistency and repetition. So I don't mean to make your problems sound really simple, because I imagine they're not. My problems and the things that I have to deal with aren't simple either. However, the part that is simple's not the right word. Straightforward is consistency equals habit, and then habit equals reality. So if you're unhappy with your life, or you're unhappy with things that you're doing, you're thinking consistently about something. And it's a negative thing that you don't want, but you're still doing it. So by doing something like this little mantra, I accept only what belongs to me and the rest I release, is a positive consistency. Something that I put at 3 different points in my day, that I repeat every day in my reminders on my phone, that when my mind begins to wander, or maybe I'm in a situation where, I don't know, maybe I'm just with somebody or something happens and I'm just really like starting to go down those old rabbit holes of habits, that these are my anchors, these are my consistencies to bring me back, put me back on course. And yeah, I want to keep this video short because I actually do have work to do today, and the last one was real long. But what I would like to end this with is let's all make a pact right now, whoever's watching this, to be a lot nicer to ourselves, to be really kind to where we are right now, because life has no instructions. There is no right or wrong way to live, truly. I believe that in my heart. There's no book, resource, or anything that will tell you how to live, or okay, actually, sorry. I was about to say there's no resource that can tell you how to live a good life. That's a lie. There's actually plenty. But what you're reading is somebody else's interpretation of how to live a good life. And the truth is, we all have our own versions, even if we can't see it right now, how to live a life that we want to, how to live a life that we feel is fulfilling, that has love, that gives value, whatever your stuff is. And if you're kicking yourself right now because you're just not feeling good, this is a part of your process. And I'm sorry that it sucks so much right now. And one thing that I wish I would have done more when I was younger is to give myself so much more grace, because I was going through so much and I didn't really give myself enough credit for all the things that I've been through. And just being extra kind to yourselves. That's one of my New Year's resolutions. I did that back in 2023, and I'm bringing it back this year. I mean, I know it's June right now, but at the beginning of the year, I said one of my New Year's resolutions is just be nicer to myself, because you, me, we all deserve to be kinder to ourselves. So thank you so much for listening. I hope this was shorter than the last one. I hope all of you have a wonderful Monday, Tuesday, Friday year, whenever you're watching this. I am grateful for all of you. Oh, and yeah, just shout out to, I have 5 subscribers now, I think, last I checked. Yay. Yeah, this is just kind of cool. I hope I connect with more people. I hope more people write comments, because I love just seeing what people resonate with. And have a wonderful day.